All right, I want to talk about nutrition for wrestlers. Okay. The truth is, it doesn't really matter who you are, football player, wrestler, doing it for fitness. Everybody wants to be lean and strong and fueled all at the same time. All right. So there is a way that you can do this where you can maintain a low fat percentage. For example, my boys walk around at 2.5% body fat 365 days a year because they follow the rules that I'm going to lay out for you. Okay, because you don't, unless you procrastinated and you waited 2 weeks out, 4 weeks out to drop your fat percentage to be at the weight class you want to be at for your wrestling season, then you don't need to do any caloric restrictive crash diets. Okay, you don't need to count your macros, you don't need to count calories. You just have to follow the rules I'm going to give you 365. And you'll walk around all the time at your fighting weight. Okay, these are the rules that I use on myself when I was a national CrossFit champion in my older age. In my upper 30s, I was still using these rules. Okay, to maintain a fat percentage below 5% and still eat enough fuel to crush CrossFit competitions, which if you know, you know, those are horrible. It's the only thing I've ever done that has compared to a wrestling match. I would still say that a hard-fought wrestling match is worse. There's nothing worse than that. So you want to have the fuel for these high energy expenditure events like wrestling. All right, you don't want to be in a caloric restrictive diet. I'm going to tell you the things that I wish I knew when I was in middle school and high school. I would have had a very different career, a way more successful career than I did have. Okay, because I didn't know anything about nutrition. I would just starve myself, fast for a couple days, cut a bunch of water, and then as soon as the tournament was over, I'd go eat some pizza and get whatever I could find. Okay, so you only need to be able to answer 3 questions. 3 questions, and the answers are very simple. The execution, the implementation is a little more difficult because it requires extraordinary discipline. All right, the ideas I'm going to tell you are not hard to understand, but the discipline, the implementation is. Okay, and you should take pride as a wrestler because that's what we are notorious for, is extraordinarily high levels of discipline. All right, so don't shy away from these rules and just embrace them and enjoy the results. Okay, so question number 1, you got to answer these 3 questions and then you'll have nutrition nailed. What do I eat? Okay, the answer is simple: plants and animals. Be strict about it. You don't eat Pop-Tarts anymore. No more pancakes. No more pizza. No more sugar soda. All right, no processed sugar. No processed flour. Okay, so the breads and the noodles, the bucket loads of breads and noodles that Americans eat is not only full of flour, it's also full of sugar. They add sugar to bread. That's why it browns on the outside. It caramelizes when you bake it. Okay? The problem with processed flour and processed sugar is it is the most powerful stimulator of fat storage. As soon as you eat that, your blood sugar goes up. The blood sugar triggers insulin. Insulin goes up. Insulin binds to a fat cell, and that fat cell opens. Because your body has to get the sugar out of your blood. It's toxic. You can't have high levels of sugar in your blood for long, you'll die. That's why diabetes is dangerous. Because they can't get the sugar out of their blood. Alright? And it kills them. So if you down a tub of ice cream, your body will produce a bucket load of insulin, and it's going to take a lot of that sugar and it's going to shuttle it into fat cells. Alright, so but if you're eating plants and animals, your insulin stays baseline. You never get this excess fat storage. It's the number one reason first world countries like the US is overweight. We have such high obesity rates, not just in adults, but in young children, which is historically unheard of. 400 years ago, you didn't have such a large population of childhood obesity, let alone childhood diabetes. And you can see the rise of this trend starting in the 70s and 80s when we started producing sugar and putting it everywhere, like gas stations. Gas stations used to have gas. Now they have gas plus 500 different varieties of sugar. And coincidentally, the US is overweight. Alright, so what do we eat? Plants and animals strictly. Alright, it's the classic plate of food. A piece of meat and two sides. So you're going to eat like a ribeye, piece of chicken, piece of fish, sweet potato, some broccoli. That's it. Alright, classic plate. If you ate that 24/7, 365, you'd be shredded and you wouldn't have to count calories. Alright, plants and animals. Alright, a breakfast. Perfect breakfast would be an omelet. I would eat 5 or 6 eggs in my omelet. I'm not going to cut out the yolks. The yolks have way too much nutrition. And you need the fats, the cholesterol in yolks. Animal fats are a big part of the equation when it comes to producing testosterone. So if you want high levels of testosterone, eat plenty of animal fats. Number 2, when do we eat? When we're hungry. We have a autonomic system, endocrine system, that controls our hunger signals, and it is the reason we have survived for so long. It is completely reliable. If you're eating plants and animals, you're eating the food source that humans, which is an animal, is supposed to eat. What's the food source you would give your dog? Okay, you shouldn't look at yourself any other way. You're also an animal. You are designed to eat a certain food source. Alright? We've eaten animals since the beginning. There's a crazy vegan and vegetarian ideas out there that you just need to throw out the window. It's like we would not have thrived, we wouldn't be the apex predators if we weren't supposed to eat meat. It is ideal fuel source. Okay, so when do we eat? When we're hungry. So eat a big breakfast, a big omelet, big veggie omelet. You can throw other meats in there too, like ham and bacon. For lunch and dinner, piece of meat, two sides. Just think of it that way. They keep it simple. And then a post-workout shake, I would recommend. I've done that since I was 13, 14 years old. Blend up some fruit and some whey protein and some milk, chug that thing and get the fuel and the resources you need to start repairing all the damage you just did. got what do you eat, you got when do you eat, and now you got how much. Okay, you eat till you're full. It's worked. And it'll continue to work until the human species turns into another species. Eat until you're full. Listen to your leptin and ghrelin. You have hormones. Their only job is to tell you these three things. It tells you what to eat, when to eat, and how much. Listen to those signals. There's a reason a rock doesn't look delicious. Okay, it's not. You're not designed to eat a freaking rock. Okay, but when you see a piece of steak, some barbecue chicken, your mouth waters. You're designed to eat these things. So you got what do you eat, when do you eat, and how much. Eat till you're full. I got a stomach that's designed for my body. I'm 5'11", 215 pounds. It's going to be bigger than my boy's stomach. They're 90 pounds and 5 feet tall, 12 years old. Their stomach's going to be smaller. Okay, you fill up. When you fill up on plants and animals, leptin and ghrelin kick in. They tell you when you're full. Then you stop. Nobody keeps gorging on steak and sweet potato like they would a tub of ice cream. A tub of ice cream does not trigger leptin and ghrelin the same that steak and a sweet potato would. Nobody goes back for triples and quadruplets of steak and sweet potato. Pay attention to that next time you eat. You know when you're full on regular food. Junk food doesn't tell you when you're full. Okay? You got to remember you're not a closed system. People say calories out, calories in. Yeah, if we were a closed system, we're not. We have an excretion system. We poop and we pee. And I've tested this with protein shakes in Baghdad. I used to chug after my workout whey protein in a shaker of water, and I would poop most of it out. My body wouldn't even absorb it. It just did not want to absorb well. Okay? If you take in 10 extra grams of protein from your steak, it's not going to go to fat storage unless you polished off your dinner with some apple pie and ice cream. Why? Go back to the blood sugar level, the insulin. The insulin needs to spike to create egregious amounts of fat storage. All right? Otherwise, your body will just excrete what it doesn't need. It's going to poop it out. It's going to take what it needs to repair your soft tissues, repair your skeleton, keep your organs functioning. Then it's going to excrete the rest. That autonomic system gets thrown off when you eat a tub of ice cream. It doesn't know what to do. It has to call in a hazmat team to get all that sugar out of your blood. And it's got to do it fast. The fastest way it can do it is put it into fat cells. Okay, so breakfast, lunch, dinner, post-workout shake, eat plants and animals, eat till you're full. The numbers are kind of good to know, but they're just nice to know. Day to day, myself, my boys, my clients who have gotten shredded and transformed into completely different people, they'll come to me and do a 6-week challenge, and I'll put them on these rules, and they'll drop 20 pounds in 6 weeks, and then within a year they're at 5% body fat and perfect blood work, following these 3 rules, not counting any numbers. You got to remember, the number thing is new. It's like less than 100 years old that we knew of calories. So what did we do the rest of humanity to thrive and do so well as a species without the sacred calorie, right? Well, the truth is you can perform at 100% optimization because you have a system that controls what it's going to consume and what it's going to excrete. So all you got to do is make sure you get enough of the right thing, okay, at the right time. And that's simple. You just eat till you're full. You eat plants and animals 3 meals a day. Do the post-workout shake thing, and you can shelve all that anxiety, all that worry of, can I optimize more? Can I do any other secret sauce with my nutrition? You can't. Just make sure that you're eating a variety of plants and animals.